Hey, oh. We were talking, and all of a sudden, okay, there's that little thing. I'm gonna wait till that does this little circle jerks. Hold on. Oh, allowed webcam and access to Firefox. Yeah. This wonderful new Facebook I told you I was with, that it went out on me a couple times during special shows. Well, it did it again, but we're not going anywhere. We just fixed the problem and said a lot of really bad words. But you're talking about my guest here and psychic abilities Casey has. And again, if you want to check this out, it's www.thebaltimoremedium.com. And I know a couple of you with that. Yeah, you just got out the bar, so you can't spell. But look, so now you know it's that. It's the www.thebaltimoremedium.com. Bada bing. We were talking about spirits deciphering if it's good, if it's evil, and you say most of your clients they didn't actually say they felt something or something, but then all of a sudden the book of the face people, that's the scientists. I guess that their battery ran out. You freak! Or did the squirrel come off the conveyor belt? No, I'm all right. Okay. Anyway, it's a nice show, and I promised myself I wouldn't get upset. But no, you think she knew. You can tell people that know me, right? Because normally people are like. But she was like,
We steer clear of evil.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I've known Ron, what, 16 years?
yeah.
Nothing new here.
Nothing new here.
But anyway, I think what we were discussing was that Ron was asking, how do I validate, or how does it all work on my end as a professional medium? And the typical client, I don't let them pre-order who they want from the other side, because I'm actually just the conduit working with guides. I'm not really able to control who comes through either. I have to open energy, allow the client's loved ones to gather into what I call a line, and then they have to be open to accepting whoever's sent through that day by the guides to come through to them. I guess a new client would be a 50-minute session, which they may partition part of that to do psychic future, but typically they'll have 3 loved ones come through would be the average. Commonly it is your blood-related family, as I was saying, that would get priority, or if you had soulmate love connections, 80% of the time would be who would be given priority to come through. And then the other 20%, I use the 80-20 rule from my old corporate job. And by the way, I spent 40 years in corporate America as an engineer, analyst, project manager. So like Ron said, he's very scientific about everything in the paranormal world, and always rule out the normal before you rule in the paranormal. And I agree completely with him. I came from a scientific background too of engineering, and I always rule out the normal before I rule in the paranormal. And I've developed an understanding over time of the patterns of how communication works across dimension as a medium. And what I've determined being a medium is an ability you're born with. There's probably 6 mediums in the state of Maryland from what I can figure out, and there's actually 6 million people in the state of Maryland, so it suggests there's 1 per million people that are professionally trained as a medium in this state. And I can trace it back to my Irish lineage. In my case, I'm Irish and German. I take the responsibility of being a medium very seriously, and I'm constantly training with top mediums on Zoom to hopefully expand my ability and understanding of the process. But I don't think even if I did this for the rest of my life, I'd completely understand how it all works. But there are definite patterns to it. It's pattern driven, as I would say, as an analyst. So commonly what will happen is if the client requests that they want loved ones, then I'll go through a process of opening energy so they're allowed to come into my space. And as odd as it sounds, they methodically line up in a line in my mind off to the left. And then when I'm ready and I'm on the right frequency of energy, the process for me begins of identification of who is in that line for that particular client. What do they want to communicate across dimension of energy to the client? And what messages are they trying to deliver? And to complicate all that further, I don't know if you realize this, but once people leave Earth, they don't communicate in verbal English. They can't transfer sound. There is never, ever, ever any sound in the process. And I've asked top mediums I've trained with if they get sound, and they all agree there isn't. So there's a very complex way that the communication process occurs with people that have left Earth and are communicating back to Earth through guides. And basically the way I would try to explain it to you is they are using the medium's mind, the body, to impart visual data and body feelings that the medium has to sort of download, take that data and interpret it back into an English language message to the client. And as I always say, again, the 80-20 rule, I'll probably get it 80% right on average. There's nobody in this industry that's 100% right 100% of the time. And my joke is, when you're at a 90% rate of accuracy, you have your own TV show and you're making about $3,000 an hour. But I actually have no desire for that. I'm actually a very low-key person. I only did this as a favor to Ron because he's a friend of mine. I typically shy away from any type of media exposure. I'm the introverted nerd, as I told you. I came out of the software development field 40 years, and I don't typically even accept any type of media offer. A little bored through the pandemic, too, to be honest. But, and Ron's got such a great sense of humor.
Yeah, I got a
Who
great
could
sense.
resist?
I just said, hey, I'll tell you what. I said, I'll promote what you do. You're my friend. And then plus, like I said, every week I search for a guest, and you promote yourself, do this. But when I saw it as my friend, holy smoly. But it's very interesting. This whole thing is interesting because, about you said leaving the Earth, there's no sound.
No, not in the people that have left Earth. Now, I know when you're on Earth doing investigative work, we used to do what's called EVP, and I know Ron's familiar with that terminology, electronic voice phenomena, where you are able to capture voice messages. And those are from what you would call ghosts on Earth, in my opinion. Those are not people that have left Earth communicating across dimension.
Here.
They're the people, as Ron said, if they're still on Earth, there's a problem. I totally agree with him.
If they're still here, there's something wrong.
Right.
Okay? Now we know, with our Catholic faith, it's just like, okay, purgatory, that's fine, but that's not on Earth. Okay? Purgatory is just like, it might be even a step toward hell to burn off, a little bit of stuff, for you to leaned out nice to go to heaven. That's purgatory. But if you're on Earth, okay, it's either two things. A, you died in such a traumatic state or fast, or that quick that you don't know you're dead yet. The soul doesn't know. Because I know there's a procedure of doing stuff like that in my studies that I've done.
Or another theory I have, and the ones I've communicated with Ron, something to ponder is the ones I've talked to, the earthbounds, because I used to do helping them cross over.
Mm-hmm.
They cling to Earth because they're deathly afraid of going to hell. So they stay here thinking, if I stay on Earth, I don't have to go to hell. These are not your exemplary citizens that you find in the ghost community. And that's why I gave up the paranormal world for the most part, to be honest, because once I figured out it was all these creepy energies, I didn't want to deal with them anymore, to be honest. And I wanted to devote my life to more of a grief healing type process. And it was actually, I'm remarried. You saw my wonderful husband that's here with me today, which I want to get into a little more. And I love him more than I've ever loved any man, and he is my twin soul. But the catalyst behind me becoming a medium was my 14 years ago when my second husband was murdered and started coming back to the earth to me right after his transition that he had actually predicted 4 days before it happened. So it's a very, very long story.
He predicted that himself?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's what he said, I'm going to be whacked, and that's it?
No, we were...
That's wild, man.
We were actually he was a truck driver at the time, and
Okay.
out of the port, where you're familiar with that.
Very much.
And I was making dinner, and it was a Thursday night, and he said, I'm going to leave soon in a road event, and when I do not want you to put a tacky memorial up where that happens. You got some sort of message again. And I remember,
fuck is
I don't know.
Wait a minute. I'm going to sign it with your foot in the ass. That's it. See, look at it.
I think you just
That's
close
a
it.
click. Yeah, I want to close it, but how about if I just? There it is.
Yeah, so anyway,
Thank you. Sorry.
so he said, when I'm going to leave in a road event soon, and when I do not want you to put one of those tacky road memorials up that I look at all day long as a trucker where it happens. And I just stopped making dinner, and I was like, well, that's a bizarre thing to say, but I just responded with, I wouldn't want one either. He was very fastidious, and I could understand his perspective on that one, because most of them are tacky, to be honest. And he was very perfectionistic about things. So that was Thursday night.
Yeah.
And then Tuesday night, long story short, he was decapitated in a road rage event 300 feet from where we were living at the time. And the
Jesus.
other interesting thing about that was
Yeah.
my father had left Earth about a year prior, and my father never believed in any of this, didn't believe in me, didn't think any of this was valid.
Right.
He didn't even know if he believed in God, to be honest. He was agnostic.
Mm.
But he was off Earth, but he used to come through after he left Earth, and he would go, daughter, and then he would give me messages from my mother. So my father, that was Thursday, he came through on Sunday, and he goes, daughter, there's a male in the family joining me soon. And that's all he said, and he left my mind. And I just assumed that, that he meant his 90-year-old brother who was a survivor of the Bataan Death March.
Oh.
I mean, I never connected the two things. Never.
Right.
And it wasn't really until the event happened, and I had told my mother that Sunday on the phone what my father had said. I always passed the messages to her. And my mother connected it. And so my father clearly knew he was coming over. He knew he was leaving. It's so
Yeah.
interesting in retrospect.
Wow. Yeah. When you look at
And
it.
so then he did leave. And
Jesus.
and that's what was the catalyst behind me turning my life
Man,
towards
Jesus.
the mediumship thing.
Yeah. Wow. That's a really, really interesting story.
It is.
And for those of you watching late night with Ron Savage and the Savage stream here, you want to get in touch with KC?
This is what you do. You go right here, right? Can you see all that? It says www.thebaltimoremedium, it's all one word, .com.
But there's one thing I wanted to tell him about my current husband, if he could come over here for a minute. I wanted to promote something. So this is my current husband, Twin Soul Brian. And so when I met Brian, he was actually dying of liver cancer. And long story short, he wouldn't still be on the earth if he hadn't been given the gift of life through a liver transplant in April 2017.
Very true.
From a 20-year-old male who did leave the earth. And so we are so eternally grateful that Brian was given the gift of life through that
Yes.
organ that someone left behind when they left the earth, because the physical body is no longer needed. Your soul's eternal. That I
Organ donation.
after sitting there 5 weeks at Georgetown night and day with Brian and watching many people
Well, this is
leave
a
Earth,
terrific story, man. This is wow.
waiting for organs that didn't come for them, we decided that we would try to help other people get organs. So I started using my business, Casey Lane Enterprises, to raise awareness for
really
organ
cool.
donation awareness.
That's very cool.
And so every year I hold fundraiser for Donate Life Maryland,
Yes.
and for the MedStar Transplant Institute that saved Brian's life. So the point I'm making is Ron said I
this
could
is-
promote this
Yes, indeed. For real.
upcoming Zoom gallery of mediumship that's
Yes.
on November 20th
Mm-hmm.
at 6 p.m. There's 6 tickets left. They're $60. All the money will go to Donate Life Maryland, and it's a Zoom thing where you come on video, and everybody gets read connecting to their loved ones.
Could you give me that crayon,
I read everybody.
that pen?
I read everybody in a group event. That's
That-
one of my
that's all.
rules, and why I'll never be some big name medium because I don't have the heart
Never say
to.
never. Take it easy. You're already
Oh.
on the show. You already started. People from California going, my God, and they're gonna call you up.
Oh,
Now,
it's
could
not
you
an
could you give us again the what this event name is and the date, so people can say, hey, I want to check it out and take mom or something. What is it called?
It's out on the event page too of my website, thebaltimoremedium.com. Just go to the event page and all the details are there. The link to buy the tickets to Eventbrite.
Well, that's how we get to you. It says www.thebaltimoremedium.com.
Yeah, and I have an event page there of all my special events. It's
So,
always
so if they go there, I thought that if I type www.thebaltimoremedium, one word, guys, .com, that all of a sudden you would appear.
I will.
Oh, okay.
Poof, I will appear.
It's like magic.
It's like magic.
It's amazing.
That's
And Brian's there too because of his doing house
This-
clearings with
what?
me.
My face isn't supposed to be seen on any.
Well,
There as well.
see, when you watch I Dream of Jeannie, you practice that bottle thing, that puff thing,
So the easiest thing to do is go to the website, to the event
Right,
page,
the Baltimore.
and it's the Friday before Thanksgiving at 6 p.m. Eastern. And it's you get on Zoom, the video thing,
6 p.m.
and it's only going to be a limited number of people where everybody gets read.
And
And-
what's it entitled?
It's called the Donate Life Maryland
Donate.
Contacting the Other Side Gallery.
Donate life.
Donate to Donate Life.
Mm-hmm.
Donate Life. And it starts at 6 p.m. And what's the date on that?
November 20th, Friday.
November 20th.
And that's how I was going to end this interview today.
Right.
I don't want to overload all of you with information.
Right.
All right,
But so
I got the information. I'll give it to you. But listen to this. Before Casey splits, and this is a wonderful wonderful thing. If anybody has any questions, call 410-262-5277. Can you hold that straight? Hold that.
you want him to call me?
No.
Call you?
Yeah, to talk to you. This is the secret line.
Oh, this is the secret line?
This is the secret line. It's right from the Pentagon. They let me borrow it.
Oh, okay.
And,
You
yeah.
mean right now if they have any questions?
Nah, probably a week from now. Yeah, right now.
Oh, you mean real time right now? Yeah, if you have a question, call real quick because we're getting ready to end. So
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking about the fans here. They're going, oh, my God.
End is near.
I think we came on a little too late. All my fans are in bed sleeping.
Final curtain.
But these are the fans on the other side of the world that they say it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Well, there you go.
That's
Yeah.
right. It is 5 o'clock
It is
somewhere.
and here it is again. The phone number is 410-262-5276. That's 410-262-5276. And if you don't call, then you're going to sound like this guy. How you like that? And they don't have a donation for that shit.
So that's that.
Mouth transplant.
That's what we're about. What we try to do
I
is
should have it like this.
help
'cause
the
that's
world.
why- wait a second. Now,
one-
when you see the show on later, the phone will be no good, this number. But if you call this number now, see how folded, you can see it now. 410-262-5276. That's 410-262-5276. And after, it'll sound like that.
Hello.
I didn't know your husband was that talented. I'm so impressed. I can't take it.
was what my husband, that one.
Yeah, you hear all the
Yeah, oh.
noises he's making? I mean, I
Told you he's a musician.
well, then he has to give me a book because I'm going to practice.
And he's a sound engineer. He's a very talented guy.
Because I did.
And he's very funny.
I did stuff. Oh, I'm dying. That's why I'm asking. I'm
Did
just.
other things too.
At study hall, I killed him. I killed him inside. But that was really good. And also, please know that you want to get in touch. You go right there.
Yep.
www.thebaltimoremedium.com. And look at this. 6 p.m. it starts, right? And to donate life, that's November the 20th. That's on a Friday.
Yep. And yeah, as my father said, he said, leave the world a better place than you found it. And how he defined that, growing up, I'll leave you with this story. It might be funny, might not. So we were financially challenged growing up, so that meant our vacations were trips to the state park for a cookout. And my father made my sister and myself pick up all the trash in the cookout area before we could leave. Not our trash, everybody's trash. because we had to leave that area a better place than we found it. And he also,
Wait a minute, a picnic place?
yeah,
You went to a picnic and you
Clean
had
other
your
people's
stuff,
mess up.
and then
We had
after
to-
you're finished eating the watermelons and the hot dogs, you got to clean everybody's stuff up?
we had to clean all the trash up that was left in the camp area by other people as well.
I mean, even the ranger and Yogi Bear said that's too much.
Well, not my father.
Mm.
He was kind of
Father-
OCD too, and I am as
Oh,
well.
that's
So
okay.
he
That's
didn't
okay.
like trash laying around. Yeah, so we now I'm OCD from that, but
And she gets thousands of people cleaning everywhere.
yep. And he would make us take our little buckets with the shovel and go to dig and get
You're gonna
any of
have
the
child
charcoals that were
services.
any good left in the grills and reuse them. He was really thrifty.
You have shrinks
grew up
calling
in
and
the
trying to
Depression.
help you
Wow,
out.
that's really, yeah, okay.
You know, when you grew up in the
Yeah.
Depression, you don't waste anything.
No, you don't waste not
Nope.
one night.
That's right.
They probably got that sign from being depressed. Like
My father could have wrote that sign. Dad's probably listening to all this too. It's funny. I'll tell you this too because his mother loved this show. WCBM. She was a big
Yeah.
fan.
Way
So
back
was
when.
John, my
In the
late
70s.
husband.
It's
Never
70s.
missed his show. A big fan. I just don't have time to listen to anything. I'm just so busy all the time. I truly am. I work a lot. I'm a workaholic, and I barely have time for anything. So, right before we were leaving, we were sitting on the sofa, like waiting, and this big flash of energy was in the basement where his mother. I was positive it was his mother, and I'm sure she was excited about us coming here to your studio because she's a big fan of this show. My grandmother was a big fan of this show.
who's
Dolores
your mom?
Knowles.
Yeah, Dolores Knoll.
Oh well, then hey, how you doing, Dolores?
Yeah, I'm sure Dolores is here.
Dolores was.
And
yeah.
my late husband, John, I was telling you about, he loved this show. He called into
You're
this
talking
show
about
all the
people that are not
time.
here anymore.
Yeah, they're not here anymore, but I'm probably still listening to the show.
Well, yeah, I'll still say hi anyway. you
Trust
know
me,
what I mean?
they're all
There you go.
still doing.
Yeah, the whiz. I'm doing the Beverly Hillbillies wave, and
You know, they're
and
still visiting, viewing
that
Life
would've been a
on
different
Earth.
Wave, like, okay.
Don't think for 1 minute they are not visiting, viewing Life on Earth. They are.
Oh, I know that. I
The
know
people
something's
off
around.
here,
I know.
definitely.
You know, look in the mirror sometimes. You see, and I tell you what, you always see it in the peripheral. You always see it in the peripheral.
Yep.
And that's what I train people. I say, you want to see ghosts, okay? You want to get sharper. You take your hand. First of all, it's right here. You don't move your head 1 second, and you take your hand and you move it straight out, but you look straight. But keep in your mind that my eye, my peripheral, how long can I see my arm? You keep taking it back. You do that more and more, until then you'll be more aware. You'll be more. It's an exercise that I did, and I catch stuff easily. I mean, it don't matter. I mean, go, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You know, because I mean, the ghosts were kind of always been pals, and even the eviler things that were pals because they make excellent chili. But anyway,
Be interesting if you see any of them little, like, you know what orbs are, the balls of light. Now,
Yes.
to me, those are the people from the other side coming in. That's the way they look. The soul
Yeah.
interdimensionally traveling.
that would make a lot of sense
It
because
would.
it
It'd be
is the
cool
light
if,
energy.
if there are any of them that show up in this video, because I do feel like some of my loved ones might be here today. Who knows?
Well, I think that would be wonderful because we're putting out first of all, I have a wonderful guest, have wonderful messages, and some of you that like to use her services, please do, and you won't be wrong because this is 100% real, and geez whiz, for the donation, for the organ donation, was it?
Yeah, it's two of the. I do those two fundraisers every
you
year.
said that
since
with your husband.
this event.
I heard you mention a little bit of it before, but I wasn't catching on. You know what I mean? But man, I did. About the organ donation. I was watching a show. I started watching it. How was it called? The Mob Doctor and this girl and her father with this. She knew this other girl that her father. She needed a heart, and her father was in a can because he shot a couple cops, and it turned out he gave her her heart, and she got pissed off because the mob doctor said, "No, I want you to live," and she said, because she was like, I said, "Do you want this heart?" No. And then her boss doctor was out there, and then she just gave us the consent. Okay, set up here and scrub everybody, it was scrub and stuff like that, and then they gave her the heart.
She got the heart.
She got the heart, and she lived, and yeah, that was cool.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing.
That was a good story.
Donate Life Maryland. If you can be an organ donor, please consider it because there are so many people that need those organs.
That's right. And if you don't have an organ, if a piano would be nice.
I'm leaving my body in medical science
There you go.
and my brain to NIH because they've been studying me so long. I'm sick of all these MRIs. Just
Whoa.
take my brain when I'm out of here.
Hello? Yep.
Yep.
Yes, Bob Dylan is donating his harmonica.
Well, listen, we gotta.
Okay, well, look, everybody. This
Like
has
a
been Late
Rolling
Night with
Stone.
Ron Savage. And one more time, listen, I'm going to show you this, and then we're going to go.
Yep.
Okay? There it is. www.thebaltimoremedium.com. Get in touch.
Be an organ donor.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And happy Halloween, everybody.
Yeah, and if this is the first Friday in 7 years, it's freaking movie night. I mean, I'm not doing it. I mean,
Stay safe and well.
That's for the little
Stay
kids.
in
That's
town.
for the kids that are watching.
Take
No,
care.
that's all right. That's all right. That you just got to carve the pumpkins and stay inside. don't pull up a Volkswagen or somebody went in the
Yeah, it's
bathroom in the
always the
bag and then
Volkswagen
toss
that
it on
gets
fire and then throw it on the old lady's porch. No, that's it. I'll see you later. Bye.
And watch and follow Ron's show.
Yes,
Yeah.
follow my show.
Say that.
follow my show. No, it's still on. It's just like you try to get the.
Call them in and talk about your organs
Perfect timing.
you donated or you received. That'll keep you busy.
That's a good point to end.
Jesus Christ. There it is. Now, the watch. Look. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Well, now it's time to say goodbye to Jed and all his friends. Okay, here.
Got
now
it.
I gotta move it.
And all right.